Welcome back to the Minnesotan Sports Podcast. My name's Connor Philippi, and I apologize so much again for not being there for the Viking season this year very much. I have, for the last 2 months, been trying to move into a condo that me and my wife are buying, and every step of the way, a new document's needed, this or that, and it legitimately has been 2 months that we've been trying to get this place, and we are almost finally going to close on it, but it's just made it impossible to make content because my desk is packed away, all my equipment's packed away. I've been wanting to make these phone videos, but it just doesn't feel fair to just sit in my car making these videos when I don't really have all the proper stuff. And I also haven't had as much time to research the Vikings to watch them as closely this season as I wish I had. Don't get me wrong, still a diehard fan, still been tuning into every game, but just being able to really dive into it, I haven't been able to do very much. So I'm sorry I haven't been making much content. I'm going to try to get back into it once I have my setup set back up in my new place. But I needed to come on here because I've been hearing a lot about JJ McCarthy. And based on what I've been seeing, I have very different opinions based on what other people have been saying. What prompted this was, I don't know, there's like Vikes Verified and all those like Vikings fan accounts. I can't remember which one it came from today. But I got a post that said, discussion, are you in or out on JJ McCarthy? And first and foremost, just to preface what I'm going to be talking about in this video, neither. Because I think it's crazy. I think it's absolutely nuts. And this is where I'm going to start fully ranting. That people watch a quarterback play 5 games in their career, and that's their opinion about that quarterback. That's crazy. And I'm not making this comparison. I'm not saying Josh Allen is JJ McCarthy, but Josh Allen had a pretty rough first year of his career, and now he's one of the best. And obviously, the last couple of games he's been kind of struggling, especially, well, he didn't really struggle against the Bucs. Anyway, that's not my point. But like, you see that where quarterbacks can be some of the best quarterbacks to ever play and have a pretty rough first year. Brett Favre did not play very well when he started out his career. And there's plenty of other examples of that I can't think of at the moment, but they'll come. But I just think it's absolutely nuts that JJ McCarthy has played 5 games split up between the first 2 and the last 3 because of his injury. And people are all of a sudden, well, JJ McCarthy's played horribly the last couple games. I guess we have to move on from him. What are you talking about? Like, are you kidding me? 5 games into his career, and we've made up our minds about him? It makes no sense to me, because the way that the NFL always used to work was you'd give rookie quarterbacks their opportunities, either that or you'd sit them behind another quarterback for a couple of years, let them like take up a whole roster space for 2 or 3 years and let them learn, or put them out there and let them develop. And that's what's crazy to me about it, is that it feels like the same people that were complaining day in and day out about Kirk Cousins are the same people that are instantly asking us to either move on from JJ McCarthy or saying we should have kept Darnold. Can you make up your minds about what you want for this team? Because Kirk Cousins was wasting us a whole lot of money and not winning us a championship. We moved on from him because the fans were clamoring for developing a young quarterback, and now fans can't sit here and be patient for even 5 games as a quarterback develops. And yes, JJ McCarthy has been bad. Don't get me wrong, he was bad in last week's game. And I'm intentionally recording this before the Packers game, because even if we get demolished by the Packers and JJ has an even worse game, not going to change my opinion, because we still have not seen enough from him. And you can't deny the fact that even with JJ McCarthy struggling, he's also had some opportunities for big plays that JJ and Addison have straight up dropped, and TJ Hawkinson has straight up dropped. Not to mention the fact that we have plenty of concern about Kevin O'Connell and whether or not he can coach a team for 4 quarters of a game, no matter who's on the roster. So it just doesn't feel like it's fair to decide that JJ McCarthy's career with the Vikings is not going to pan out to anything after this many games. And it's nuts to me, going back to the Darnold thing. It's the same story as Kirk Cousins. They're different quarterbacks, but it's a very similar story where Kirk Cousins was not winning us games enough. He was winning us enough games to make the playoffs, to even win the division a couple times. he wasn't bringing us past even the second round at any point. And the same thing goes with Sam Darnold. People keep saying, oh, Sam Darnold would have had us so much in such a better spot this year. That's true. We probably would be in the playoff conversation with Sam Darnold, but look how he played against the Rams last week. Just look at how he played against them. Big game, when it really matters, you're going up against a team where you could potentially try and take control of the NFC West, going up against one of the best teams in the league right now, and you can't get it done. What was it, 4 interceptions or 3 interceptions? The defense did everything they could to keep you in that game, and Sam Darnold completely blew it, just like he did against the Lions at the end of the season, and then just like he did against those same Rams in the wild card round. So what do you want? Did you want us to keep him so that he could win us 10 to 12 games and lose in the playoffs again? Like, I just don't understand. Do Vikings fans want to try at least have a chance of winning a championship? Or was it just fun to watch us win enough games where you're content with bringing on Sam Darnold again and watching him do just enough to get us over, but then not quite being enough in the playoffs? Because we've been watching that from the Vikings for the last 10 to 15 years, basically. Ever since I was young, I've watched the Vikings have either very short rebuilds and then get up to a point where we're 10-6 and losing the playoffs, or have consistent years where we are like 8-8 to 11-6, or whatever the math goes out to, and losing the wild card round or losing the divisional round. I've watched the Vikings go to the NFC Championship twice in my life, and one of those times was heartbreaking. The other time, we didn't even have a chance. Twice in my entire existence. So I'm not saying J.J. McCarthy's been amazing and that I can guarantee he's going to be a franchise quarterback for us. But am I in or out on him? Neither. I need to at least watch him play a full season of football before I even start to make generalizations about him or how his career is going to go. So that's all I have to say. It's just a rant about how it's crazy how people can turn on a quarterback so quick, especially a quarterback that it's one thing to turn on a quarterback that seems to have a bad attitude, or a quarterback that doesn't seem to care about his team, a quarterback that went out of college into the NFL with an ego about him, like a Jamarcus Russell type. But it's a completely different thing to say these things and to be completely out already on a quarterback like J.J. McCarthy that, despite his struggles, clearly is doing everything he can to fix these problems and cares more about this team than a lot of these fans probably do. So that's all I got to say about that. I'm going to try and get more content out there. I might even make a raw reaction about the Packers win or loss, but we'll have to see how that goes. I might try and get back into content, or I might decide it's in my best interest to just not string you guys along as I continue to be busy, and maybe I'll just try and focus on it next year, but we'll have to see what happens. Thanks for watching this one anyway, though, and I'll see you on the flip side.